In today's video, we are going to be making a tier list for T3 Arena, ranking all of the heroes from the best to the worst. Across the board, T3 Arena has done a great job with their heroes, and there isn't really any hero in this game that's truly terrible, so we will just be using the S tier, A tier, and B tier. If they fall in the S, this means they are the best of the best heroes in the game, and they can hard carry your team to victories. If they are in the A tier, it means that they are a very good hero, but maybe they lack some of the utility that some of the S tier heroes have. And if they are in the B tier, it means that they are a good choice. Like I said, nobody is truly terrible, but based on the rest of the hero pool, they are just not as good as the other options. So starting off with the B tier, I believe that the B tier heroes in this game are going to be Victor and Johnny Jet. Now, Johnny Jet's not actually unlocked yet. No one's been able to play him. But based on testing, this hero in the arena and seeing all of his abilities, I just feel like he doesn't bring enough to the table to where he can hard carry your team. And with Victor, he's actually quite a solid tank. He's got a nice dash potential in the game and a really strong shotgun as well, but it's all really single target focused. And when it comes to the other tanks in the game, there are just people that do a better job at doing what he does. So now on to the A tier, we have Aletta going into the A tier alongside with Shell. These are two very similar heroes. They're super fast, they play up close, and they have a lot of trickery. And honestly, they have a super high skill cap as well. So you have to be a very good player in order to maximize their potential. But even when you do that, you are still limited because they are very single target dependent and they don't have like a ton of health. So you can get beamed down in the middle of your attacks, but nonetheless, they are still both very strong heroes. Next up, we have Scatty. She has a high damage, high single target damage with her revolver, and she can land, 2,000 damage headshots. Her ultimate is pretty solid for making her a little bit extra tanky, and then, you deal out this wide AoE damage. But then her tactical, the spider web, while it is a good ability, there's still more utility that these S tiers bring to the table, which is why I do have her in A tier. Next up, we've got Labula. I know a lot of people are going to be like, hey, Labula's kind of toxic. Why isn't she in the S tier? She's a very strong hero as well. 1100 damage for her auto attacks. A lot of, AoE splash damage. She has this ball that can bring you a temporary shield as well as your teammates and then deal damage to the enemy. And then her ultimate shoots where the enemy is. But you guys already know there's a character similar to her that will most definitely be in the S tier just because she does everything Labula does, but in my opinion, does it way better. Next up, we have Kazama. A lot of people love him because he can go up into the air. He's got this strong rocket that does massive AoE damage. If the team ever groups up with each other, he can really capitalize. He doesn't have a lot of health though, and because some of the other heroes in the game do have some incredible single target DPS, you can swap this guy, in my opinion, pretty easily out of the sky, but nonetheless, he's still a very strong pick, which lands him in the A tier. My next A tier hero is Jabali. This guy is actually very strong, and if you want to talk about best tank in the game, I would actually argue that this guy is the one because he does a very good job at being a frontline tank. He's got that super strong shield, especially for objective-based game modes that make it very difficult for the opponent to actually break through. His ultimate makes him super tanky and does all of this AoE spin damage, and then his gun in general is just pretty strong as well. And then when using that shield, you're able to reload passively, and when you put the shield away, it also heals back up. So if you're looking for a strong tank, Jabali is most definitely your pick. And my final A tier hero is going to be Christina. I was so close to putting her up into the S tier because if you've gone up against a good Christina, you know just how toxic she can get with all of that AoE damage between her auto attacks, the sticky bomb, and her ultimate dropping all of those bombs as well. But I have her in the A because she is a high skill ceiling hero. In order to maximize the use of her, you actually have to play without auto fire, and a majority of the players are going to be using auto fire. The reason why you want to turn this off is because in order to land a majority of your grenade shots, sometimes you've got to aim like higher, and if they're far away, like much higher or to the left or to the right, to try and predict where your opponent's going to be in order to land those auto attacks. Whenever you have the auto fire on, it just sort of shoots, and you'll miss like half of your grenades and not find the incredible value that you could potentially find. if you want to master Christina, best believe that you could play her at an S tier level. And finally, we are going to be moving on to the best of the best heroes in the game. If you want to be able to carry and win a lot of matches, these are going to be your best bet. These heroes have a lot of damage, and they bring so much utility to the table to help you carry your team to these victories. Starting off with Osas, the damage that this guy's sniper can bring to the table is actually pretty incredible. High single target damage, even if you don't maximize and charge his shot, it still does well over 3,000 damage. And if you're going to hit someone in the head with this sniper, you can one-shot almost every single hero in the game. It does, I believe, like 8,500 damage depending on the level of your hero, and you can imagine why that's very strong. A lot of the heroes in this game have limited range on their attacks, but because he's a sniper, he's got that maximum range. So if you're playing in the back and you're just landing 3,000, 8,000, 8,000, 3,000, I mean, your team's going to be in a very good position, and he can most definitely carry as a damage dealing carry. Next up, we have Mark. Mark is very filthy. He's a pretty straightforward hero, but his gun just does so much damage, and his tactical ability shoots forward a rocket that, it's a seeking rocket, so you're always, for the most part, going to hit your opponents with these rockets, and then you'll be able to deal out a ton of damage as well. When it comes down to taking over a site, his ultimate allows him to see these enemy heroes through the wall, and whenever you hit someone that you scan, you actually deal way more damage to them, so you can melt down a whole team and shut down pushes super well. Next up, we have Gloria. I mean, you guys already know. I don't even have to say too much about Gloria. She is such a good hero. She has a high damage assault rifle that just it just spits out lead. You can destroy even some of the tankiest heroes in this game in one clip. And to top it all off, she can swap over to a shotgun. So if you go into a close quarters interaction, you whip out the shotgun and you deal a ton of damage. A lot of players don't even need to use their ultimate, but she also has a pretty good ultimate to where if the enemy team groups up, you can slow them down and deal out a ton of damage to them as well. Next up, we've got Ruby. Ruby is my favorite hero in the game right now. I just believe she brings so much to the table. As a matter of fact, if I had to tell you my top 3 heroes, it's going to be these last 3. I just love them so much, love playing them. But Ruby being tanky, and she can attack from a pretty good distance, and she, attacks with the 3 cards. If they're up close to you, which a lot of people are going to try to do, you just delete them, because when all 3 cards land, you get triple the damage, hitting that 1,800 plus damage and shutting them down. Her shield ability is super toxic, because whenever you're going for an objective or you're in a group fight, if you just continue to throw those out every 7-8 seconds and then hide behind the shield, and with her passive you take less damage next to your shield and people can't actually hit you or your teammates, you can obviously assume why she would be one of the heroes in the S tier. She is just very good. Next up, we have Iris. I mean, Iris, what do you have to say? I think she's the only healer in the game right now, and she just has this ability to continuously leave out her healing turret, which is either going to heal you or your teammates automatically whenever they are around you. So it's going to feel very hard for the enemy team to actually push through and kill you guys, because you can continuously heal, especially when they're reloading, or if you synergize it with anybody else on the team. You can imagine why Iris would be one of the strongest heroes in the game. And then to top it all off, when you guys are going for a big push that needs to swing the tide of the game, throwing down her ultimate, which juice heals everybody that's standing inside of it, pretty much makes all of you guys invincible. Unless you're getting one shot by an Osas, if somebody does damage to you, you're going to be healed right back up to the full health. And last but not least, we have Sindri. Sindri is a toxic hero. A lot of people really hate going up against her, and she was the one I was talking about when comparing her to Labula. But the bot the drone that she drops on the ground that can automatically deal damage and attack anybody that's in its line of sight makes her very annoying. You can even drop the drone to peek the corner for you. It feels like you're in a 4v3 instead of a 3v3 whenever you have drones. And if they've got multiple Sindris on the team, I mean, just good luck. You've got 2 drones on the field. Her gun is very strong as well. I don't think she has like a headshot damage multiplier, but it shoots out 3 shots, each shot doing 800 plus damage, which is going to lead you to do that 2400 damage, which is incredible. And then her ultimate is very strong as well, you know, puts the ball on her, the lasers come out, she's got more shield from all of that. Whenever she recalls her drone, she gets shield as well. So just overall, Sindri is a very, very strong pick in this game. Let me know what you guys think of this tier list in the comment section down below, and we will discuss even further.